Hi everyone, this is the help video for the 2.02 quiz, Order of Operations. Please make sure that you're viewing this video in preparation for the quiz or if you are preparing to take your second attempt. In this quiz, we go over the following. We're talking about order of operations, including distribution and factoring. And this order of operations includes grouping symbols, exponents, and absolute value. So at this time, go ahead and open up your 2.02 quiz. You can find that under content or grades. All right, and here's our first question. So when we're going over order of operations, just like we talked about in class, we do have a common way that we use in order to understand what order we are completing our stuff in. So as you can see here, we have a lot of negatives, we have a lot of parentheses, so we're just going to take this step by step. Take a look at GEMDAS over here, and GEMDAS stands for grouping symbols, so that includes parentheses, brackets, absolute value bars. Next we have E, which is exponents. Then we've got multiplication and division. Now multiplication and division are the same step technically. You read those from left to right. So if division comes before multiplication, you would do division first if from left to right. And then same for addition subtraction. Addition subtraction is our fourth step, and you would also do that one from left to right. So you technically have four different steps here that you're completing: grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication, division, and then addition or subtraction. So let's go ahead and take a look. The first question here, we do have two pairs of parentheses, but you'll notice that our first pair of parentheses, there's no operation to solve within those parentheses. So we need to look to see why that has a parentheses around it. We've got -2 minus 4 parentheses -2. So we know that if we have parentheses right up on a number like that, that means multiplication. So this indicates to us that here is our first operation within these parentheses. We have a multiplication problem. -4 times -2. So we can go ahead and solve, and you'll notice I'm going to highlight just the part that we're working on just to keep it clean so we know what else to bring down. So we didn't use all of these, and so I'm going to write that down. -4 times -2 is a +8. Next step, I still have grouping symbols. I still have parentheses. So now we have to solve what's inside that second set of parentheses. This one is -2 plus 8. -2 plus 8 is 6. And I carry down everything else that hasn't been highlighted or that I haven't used. Now I'm done with my grouping symbols, so I have to see what are my operations I have left. I have multiplication and I have exponents. So I'm going to work on these exponents. 6 to the power of 2. 6 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 6 times 6, which is 36. And I want to make sure I bring down that coefficient of -3. My last step is just multiplying here. And again, you can use your calculator. I don't know 3 or -3 times 36 off the top of my head. So I'm going to do 36 times -3. And that gives me -108. So again, keep yourself organized. Only work step by step, one at a time. Color code it by highlighting it or underlining, and just go through all of your steps. So there's instructions that help you in question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So our order of operations don't change. We still have the same GEMDAS steps that we're looking for. So first is still grouping pairs. In this situation, we have two sets of grouping symbols. We have absolute value bars and parentheses. So we need to solve what's inside both of them. In my first one, though, I do have an exponent, so I'm going to solve that first. 1/2. 4 to the power of 2 is 16 minus 10. And I bring everything else down. I can go ahead and solve this one. The absolute value of 3.2 minus 1.1 is just 2. 5.1. Now I still have a set of parentheses here that I need to worry about. I have 16 minus 10 within that parentheses, so I can go ahead and solve that. 16 minus 10 is 6, so I can write down everything else. Oops, that went a little crazy. All right, next step. Now we have two operations left. We have multiplication and we have addition. Multiplication comes before division or addition. So I'm going to multiply these together. 1/2 times 6 is 3. And I bring down everything else. I'm down to just one step. 3 plus 2.1 is 5.1. So again, go step by step, follow those instructions, and you will find the correct answer. Keep yourself organized. Question 3, again, we have order of operations practice. We have two grouping symbols. We have parentheses and absolute value. I'm going to follow the most innermost brackets here, which are absolute value. 7 plus 1 in that absolute value. So we can rewrite this as 14 minus 7 plus 1 is 8, parentheses 2 over 2. We still have parentheses or grouping symbols. So we have to solve what's inside the grouping symbol first. 14 minus 8 is 6. Write down everything else. Running out of a little bit of room here, so I'm going to move off to the side. 6 to the power of 2 is 36 over 2. And then 36 divided by 2 is 18. So that's how you follow in this question doing order of operations. Question number 4 is factoring. When we factor, our goal is to find the biggest number that both of these terms have in common and divide it out. So I can go ahead and list my terms for both 33 and 99. There's a few different ways to do this. We talked about it in class. I'm going to do the way that's easiest for me. My factors for 33 are 1 and 33. So 1 times 33 equals 33. And then 3 times 11 equals 33. There are no other factors. So those are the 4 that I have for 33. 9 does have a few more. Of course, 1 times 99 equals 99. We also have 3 times 33. And we have 9 times 11. So in this situation, there's a lot of numbers in common, but which number is the biggest one that they have in common? That would be 33. So now what do I need to do? I need to divide 33 out of both of these terms. That's what factoring is. You take a number that they both have in common, and you're removing them by dividing them out. So I put 33 on the outside of a set of parentheses to show that I pulled it out of both terms. Now I can divide 99x divided by 33 is 3x. Negative 33 divided by 33 is -1. And that's our answer. So again, you're finding a number that they both have in common and dividing it out of both terms. Last question is question number 5. So distribution is the opposite of factoring. We're trying to reintegrate a number back into multiple terms. So in this situation, we've got -3 on the outside here. We're going to do the opposite. So with factoring, you're dividing out. With distribution, you're multiplying back in. So I'm going to multiply both of these terms by -3. -3 times 1 over 10x is -3 over 10x, and nothing there can be simplified. Then I have -3 times, and I'll write it over here, 1 over 3, and that equals -3 over 3, which is the same thing as -1. So my answer to this, after I multiplied both, is -3 over 10x minus 1. So all of these instructions will help you answer all 5 questions on the 2.02 quiz. Remember to use your calculator, stay organized by color coding, attend a help session, and of course, reach out to us if you need anything.